Hey everybody, it's Jeff, and today we just put out a 0.3 release of Treehouse, which is our open source front end for building personal organizers. Right now it kind of functions as a simple kind of outliner tool, but with this release we're sort of taking a step towards becoming a more powerful tool. So what we've released today, besides a number of bug fixes, are some new features, and those are fields, so being able to do structured data in your nodes, live search, being able to have inline queries and have the results sort of updated as your workspace changes, and references, which are basically kind of like symlinks where you can mirror a node, so you can have a node kind of live in multiple places at once in your workspace. So we'll take a look at these. You'll notice if you've been following along that it looks a little different, but this is actually the same front end. It's just using a little bit of custom CSS here. In fact, not that much custom CSS. And that's thanks to our design system, which uses CSS custom properties or CSS variables, which makes it pretty easy to make custom themes. And so here we have a kind of a Sublime inspired theme. So here we're looking at some media, and we've got some Star Wars books. And, so far, this is pretty good as an outliner or making lists and stuff like that. But let's start making this into more of a little database. So, for example, a couple of these books have the author here, and they're just sort of added next to the name of the book. But this is actually a great candidate for a field. So I'm going to cut this, and we'll create a subnode. And say author, and then we're going to turn this into a field. We can use our command palette and create field and paste the value. And there we go. Now Disciple has an author field, and we could do this. We could add more fields. We could put fields on other books or pretty much any node, and that gives us structured data. So as a more fleshed out example, here we have a bunch of food from Disneyland, and this is basically like a little database, and we've got these same fields on all of these nodes, and we can actually use this in search. So we've got our search bar up here. We can actually search for nodes based on fields and their value, but we can do the same thing in search nodes. So here we can do a search for type equals savory, and that gives us all of the nodes here that have type set to savory. And these are actually references. So this potato sambusa is actually the same node as the one down here. If we added this one, it'll change there, and it has the same fields and everything. So that's references. You can tell them by the dotted outline around their bullet. If you were to delete a reference, it won't delete the actual node. And so search results are basically built on top of references. And if we were to add new nodes here that would satisfy this, because there's a live search, it would be added to this list. And lastly, let's just show creating a new live search node. Instead of savory, let's look for all the sweet food. So this is a normal node, and then we're going to convert it to a search node. And there we go. It's a live search node. This is a pretty powerful tool for being able to show different sort of subsets or selections of nodes in different places in your workspace. And like fields, this is also just sort of an early iteration of this. You can imagine maybe creating a custom title for these searches or doing more advanced searches and stuff like that, but that'll come down the road. But I think those are pretty big features that we got in with this release, so I'm glad to have gotten it out. All right, thanks for watching.